Driven fuel sipping on a Red Bull.
First guest I'd like to introduce is a photographer. He's the owner of a company. He's a father, and he is an absolute lovable gem of a human being that I have the pleasure of knowing. Welcome to the podcast, Ryan Williams.
Thank you, Gabe. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Appreciate it. You forgot husband.
I'm so sorry.
I got to tell my wife.
I know. You're just juggling too many things that I can't keep up.
I got lots of things going on.
Yeah. What do you got going on right now?
A lot.
And I forgot podcaster.
Podcaster, yeah. Podcast host.
Yeah.
I even forgot about that myself.
Yes. What is it called? Sorry. What do you make of it?
What you make it.
What you make it.
Meaning life is what you make it.
Yeah. I liked your description of it. I remember when you first posted it, you said people who, take life, and I can't remember, in their own account, like take life in their own hands. You know what I mean? I was like, that's
what it was. It's life is what you make it, meaning just people that write their own rules, people that are making the life that they want instead of living by somebody else's dictations.
I think so.
Is that a word? Being dictated to. being dictated to, right? So basically, there's a lot of people out there that work on a 9-to-5 job and they hate it, right? But then there's a lot of people out there that work on a 9-to-5 job and they're taking the reins and they're saying, okay, I work this 9-to-5 job because I want to travel, or I want to start a side hustle, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And so those are the people that I want to talk to. Those are the people that I want to have on my podcast. For the most part, the people that I've had on my podcast have been like entrepreneurs, because for me, they are making life exactly as they picture it in their head. So it's basically just another way of saying chasing your dreams.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm glad we started this podcast off with a advertisement for your podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What You Make a Podcast. I am Ryan Williams.
All right, let's cut this down. I appreciate you coming out. So, yeah, you have a lot of things. You're juggling a lot of things. Like, do you find that difficult? Because you were just telling me you're new into the, making life what you make it kind of lifestyle.
So
since May, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I jumped into full-time entrepreneurship in May of this year, which is 2019. But I've always been sort of under the mindset that my full-time job is just going to pay for my side hustle. Yeah. Like my full-time job is paying for my photography.
What were you doing before this?
So I was in dental.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, I was in dental sales.
Were you okay. I was imagining like dentist Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
Right?
No, Dr.
Can you hear
Williams.
me? Can you hear me all right? It doesn't sound like it's coming all the way through. There we go. That's better. Okay. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So I was in dental sales.
You're selling teeth
and
veneers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that
really?
that actually is a part of the business. So in dental sales, you sell supplies. I was a distributor, so I sold supplies and equipment. And we didn't have, at one of my dental sales jobs, we did actually sell teeth for dentures.
Yeah.
But then
it's a big market right now.
Yeah. At the last one, it wasn't, we didn't really sell. We didn't have a strong offering for teeth. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sounds weird, doesn't it?
I want to hear your sales pitch.
So
like, are you cold calling and being like, hey,
Yeah. So one of the things about the dental sales industry in general is that it's really relationship based.
Yeah, of course.
So it wasn't like, I used to be in copier sales, and where you would have like a really like sort of distinct sales pitch, and you would go into an office and be like, hi, I'm Ryan Williams. I'm with such and such company. How many employees work here?
I feel like you'd be so good at that.
But
you're the guy, like when you meet you the first time, it's like, I've known you for 10 years.
Honestly, that's what I try to do with everybody.
Is that just a natural thing? Like you've always been like that, or did you have to train yourself to be the outgoing kind of make everyone comfortable guy?
No, man. I've always been outgoing.
That's good, man.
Always. Like that's just been a part of my personality.
Yeah.
Everybody always sort of like referred to me and like sort of I guess paralleled me with Will Smith.
Yeah, I can see that. I could see that, the Canadian Will Smith.
So
have you ever acted?
I was an extra in a couple movies, but I've never actually had any speaking roles or anything like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
And that was when I was really, really young.
Okay.
Funny story on that, though. I didn't act because I went into drama, and I always thought that there was a chance that I could be an actor.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that think because other people are doing it, if there's at least one other people doing whatever it is, I can do it as well.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. And so I was like, I can go into acting. Of course I can go into acting. Why not? So, but I went into drama in high school and I got a 70% grade in the class.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think it was more so because, you know, goofed around, you talk to your buddies and this and that.
Is
Like, it was probably more behavioral based than anything else.
But I feel like that's not a determinant of whether or not you're a good actor.
But for me, it was.
Yeah.
Right? I just didn't believe in myself. I didn't know. I actually remember enrolling into the drama class in high school and being like, this could be the start of something. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this before. This could be the start of something like great for me in terms of like going in that direction. Yeah. And then I remember looking at my grade and just being completely deflated. I literally remember shrugging my shoulders and being like, I guess it's not for me. And then just moving on.
That's too bad, man.
Yeah, it's hilarious actually when I think back at it. But I was always a kid that wanted to taste different things and do different things. And I sort of just gravitated to the thing that I was most talented at.
Yeah.
I say talent is the thing that you can do the best with the least amount of effort. So for me, that was baseball.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I played baseball my whole life growing up, and it just sort of came natural.
Yeah,
to
you're
me.
built kind of like a slugger. Like I can see that. It's like,
Well, I played a little bit of outfield. I played center field, right field, left field, and then I became a pitcher.
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I just sort of gravitated towards that in my life, and just sort of it took me to Alberta and then North Carolina, where I finished my university
So
degree.
you were legit. Like you were thinking like this could be my life. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, did you do like the AA, AAA, like anything like that? Like,
No. So I was
were you ever paid?
I was never drafted. I was in the draft, I think in 2007. If I can remember correctly, and I went undrafted.
Wow.
But I was in the draft in that year. But it was always something that I thought in my mind that I could get there. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, I think true, like, greatness, again, something I always say is true greatness is where talent meets hard work, meets opportunity. And, you know, later in my career, as things started to unfold, I truly believe I started to fall out of love with the sport.
Yeah. Did it just felt like kind of like a duty thing?
Yeah,
Like,
it felt more like a chore. I wasn't having as much fun. And these were in sort of those crucial years of like, okay, you need to put the pedal down.
Yeah.
You need to work harder than everybody else in order to be seen, right? In order for that opportunity to sort of be there. And you know, and then I had some injuries later on in the career too. Like I had an elbow injury. And you know, they gave me the option. They were like, hey, you can like get surgery and repair your elbow, but you're going to have to sit out another year, red shirt, a year. And I just didn't want to, again, I didn't have that urge or that drive or that love to kind of want to, sit out that year and spend another year in university. And I just really wanted to get my life started.
Did you get a degree? Like, did you finish?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got a degree. So I have basically like just a general diploma from a community college out in Alberta. Everything was always based in business.
Yeah.
So emphasis in business. And then in North Carolina, it was like recreation with an emphasis in business. Yeah.
Did you like living in North Carolina?
Yeah. You know what? I loved living in Alberta and I loved living in North Carolina, and sort of for two different reasons. Alberta, I left when I was 18. And I really sort of became a man, or started to become a man in Alberta from 18 to 21. And then North Carolina, I really loved the different culture and I really love the weather.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's interesting. Because, I'm thinking about, my girlfriend and I are going to move somewhere. I think we're going to go BC probably in the next year or so. But yeah, it's interesting. I have some friends who just moved to Alberta and they love it. Like, obviously taking advantage of a lot of the oil jobs that are left still. Like, were you ever tempted by that when you're out there? Like,
No.
I'm just going to make a quick buck?
No,
No.
never even thought about
either,
it.
yeah.
Honestly, never even thought about it. When I was in Alberta, the only thing that I thought about was baseball and like where I was going to go and what I was going to do with baseball.
So how did you transition into, so what was the first thing you did? So now you're doing, like right now you're doing video, you're doing photo, you're doing podcasts, you're doing dad stuff. Like how did you no, but like what was the first kind of creative outlet you had? Like was that something you always carried with you, like to the side? You secretly had a little, photography thing, or
No, it's not.
no?
I was an athlete my whole life.
Yeah.
And
Did you look down, like did you distance yourself, like I'm the jock, and you distance yourself from the creative? Like was that ever a thing?
No, I don't think that I'm just the type of person that's just laser focused on whatever it is I'm doing. I'm really, it could be good or bad, but I'm an all or nothing person.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And it's either I'm all the way in or I'm not in at all. It's just, I'm black and white like that. And when it was baseball, I was like, I'm all the way into baseball. But here's my thing. I'm never worried about going all the way in and like just focusing my energy and efforts towards that thing and then that thing ending. Because I believe that things happen for a reason. I believe that things are meant to happen the way that they do. And so once I'm done with that thing, I'm just done with it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then I just move on to something else.
No, I admire, like, I find that a completely like relieving way to feel and way to think, and approach life. Like because I've had a lot of things that you go all in intensely and it just kind of crumbles beneath you and you're like, it doesn't have to completely just be that. Yeah. It always turns into something else if you wanted to, if you go all the way in on something.
Yeah. So I transitioned. So I always found myself to be an athlete. And then people would always ask me if I'm going to play baseball again. And like, will you join the first 5 years I was out of school and done playing baseball, I was asked to be on this team and that team and this team and that team. And then it slowly started to slow down. But then like softball started picking up. Okay, well, do you want to play rec softball? And then it turned into like, all right, fun, though. Do you want to play into lob pitch and, beer ball or whatever? Yeah. So once I was done there doing baseball, I was like, I knew that I kind of fell into sales, but then once I was in sales, I was like, okay, so where's the top of the food chain with sales? Like who's making the most money? What's the coolest job? Yeah. What's the best sales job I can possibly have? And at that time, I looked upon like medical, dental, or maybe even veterinary sales as being like sort of the top of the heap for sales jobs. Basically where you can make the most money, have the most flexibility. Yeah. And it's kind of a sexy industry to be in, right? Like even you're like dental sales.
No,
right?
I mean, I can see
it's just
that.
interesting.
Yeah, no,
right?
It's definitely in my opinion better than like selling insurance or something like that.
I don't know if that it's necessarily
not better, but it's more intriguing. It's like
just intriguing. Yeah. It's just a very intriguing concept. It's like, I didn't even really know. And like same thing with like medical. It's like, oh, you sell hips.
Was it?
Or
Yeah.
you sell, you know what I mean? Or you sell like instruments. Oh, you're actually in surgeries and stuff like that. So it's just
because you think the like warehouses and stores, like they're filled by people that had to go sell that. Like I always think of the show The Office. You know what I mean? Like people had to get paper. Like there's an actual whole office dedicated to selling paper. Yeah. So did you have that office kind of scenario where it's like, was it competitive nature at all?
Yes. I mean, depending on, again, it depends on the industry that you're in. Yeah. When I first got out of school, I worked at Good Life Fitness and I was selling fitness memberships. Yeah. And that's where I really sort of found that I had a knack for sales, but it wasn't necessarily sales that I had a knack for. It was exactly what you sort of told me in the very beginning, which was like just being relatable to people. And so I recognized that I could be very relatable to people on a one-to-one scale. And I was just like, okay, so this is pretty cool. So I did pretty well at Good Life. And then I went and started selling copiers at a couple different companies. And it was competitive when you were selling memberships at Good Life because like it was just like, 1, 2, or 3 sales reps just sitting in a room, and then somebody would walk in and you'd be like, oh, I'm up, and you'd go out there and you'd try to sell, or you would go out on the street and you would try to bring people in to the club and stuff like that. And then when you got into copier sales, it was a little bit more sophisticated, not as like, golf shirt, like, you know what I mean? It was like just a little bit more sophisticated. You start dressing up a little bit more, and then you quickly realize that like it's still a very head-to-head, very dog-eat-dog environment. but a little bit more structured, a little bit more organized. Like you had certain territories that you sell into, and you can't sell into other, that sort of thing. And then when you get into medical, dental, which is what I was in, it's sort of, everybody has their own like area. You hardly talk to other sales reps. You hardly talk to your manager. You just go out and do your thing, and really it just becomes more about the numbers. So in general, in sales, like for the most part, it's all about numbers. If you're hitting your numbers, then you're good. But if you're in like the higher paying jobs, they don't care about what you do on a daily basis. They just care that you're producing numbers.
Yeah. And I'll have a question after this, but my only experience in like a sales purely job is, did you ever do door to door, like sales? I did that.
I can't say I really did door to door.
It's tough. That's where
you
like
actual knocking on doors outside.
It was like right up till Christmas time. Like people do not want to be bothered, and I'm selling paint.
Yeah.
I was like, do you want someone to paint your house for like $5,000?
Yeah, exactly.
I got a few sales though, but that's like how I got any of my sales chops. Like it started off right there.
Well, it's important. Like that's what I was
going to ask. Like because that's the thing. That's what I think is really important about this podcast. I want to talk with people who have, a creative business, because there's so many creatives there's so many more people that are talented than us that are out there, but they don't know how to turn that into a business.
100%.
And like you have years of sales experience. Like that must, like, how beneficial has that been to you?
It's the number one reason why I'm able to do this full time.
Yeah.
Without a question.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the pictures that I take. It's 100% predicated on the fact that I know how to sell. Mm-hmm. And
we won't take away from the fact that you are a very good photographer. Like,
I've gotten better.
Yeah.
But like photography is evolving, and art is evolving, and it's something that
it's saturated.
Yeah, like, it's saturated, so and there's always going to be somebody better than you.
Yeah.
Right. But at the end of the day, like what separates you is your ability to know how to sell yourself and your services.
Yeah.
And there's a million. I say this all the time. There's a million other photographers that are greater than me. There's tons of photographers in the city of Halifax, specifically, but they're not all making money.
A lot of them will do it for free. Like,
I'm talking about like really incredible artists, like artists that inspire me within our geographical territory. These artists, like, I know for a fact they're not making any money.
I know, and I always try to
know for a fact.
I always have conversations, because like I do a lot of live gigs too, like just for fun. I love them. Like they don't pay that well.
Yeah.
But I like to go get my camera out, but I'll still only do it if I'm paid. But no, I'll talk to the guys. They're like, I'm like, you're fucking better than me. You got better gear than me. You like you're right up in there. And none of them are making money. Like I try to get people charged up for two reasons, because one, you'll be happier, and two, it's better for the industry. Like if everyone, like you're doing something that a lot of people can't do, and you're completely underselling yourself. You're just doing shit for free. Just get your portfolio up. Like, dude, everyone's got a portfolio. Like,
so I have two different thoughts on this. So there's a lot of creatives out there that are doing things for free because they don't know how to make money. But then there's a lot of people out there.
I will say there is a balance. Like I'm doing a free gig on Friday.
Well, this is what I mean. So there's a lot of people out there that I personally believe the value in free work is greater than most people understand.
Well, that's how we met. You did a free gig for me. It's actually how we were introduced.
What did we do?
You did Jurassic Park.
Oh,
that's how we met.
We didn't get paid for that?
I don't know. Did you?
What? I don't think we did, now that you say that.
Yeah, I think it was sponsored. I don't know.
You're right. It was probably just a sponsorship thing. But yeah, so that's what I mean.
We'll cut that.
That's so funny. That's fine.
Well, you did an incredible job, by the way.
Appreciate that.
It's
we had some Facebook errors because of copyright issues and stuff like that.
No, but it was still like the most viewed video that the whole channel had.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
Yeah,
it was like 4,000 people saw it on YouTube, which is pretty good considering it's a local outdoor viewing of a basketball game.
Right.
Anyway,
that's perfectly fine. Yeah. So again, I'm about doing things for free if it's intentional. Do you know what I mean?
Apparently that wasn't intentional.
Well, I don't know. I mean, again, that's a separate business. Like, so that's a separate mindset. So Atlantic Livestream goes through my two business partners as well. But if we're about to, if you're doing things for free just because you don't know how to make money, that's one thing, right? When you're an incredible photographer or videographer, and you should be charging and you're not, that's one thing. But if you're doing it for your own marketing to connect with people, I do it all the time. Yeah. I'll do free things. If you're not creating every day, you're not getting better.
I know. Yeah.
Every day that you don't create is a missed opportunity, in my opinion.
I feel like I go crazy every time I'm not like making something, like at least once a day. Like, do you get that feeling? Like regardless of the fact of just like, oh, I'm stagnant today, but like I actually feel like it's in my being as a person. Like I have to make something today.
Yeah. So I feel like that as well. But I feel like I just feel like you just need to get out there and I feel like you need to just do things.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if it's in the fiber of my creative or if it's in the fiber of my business mind, but I know that I have to be busy.
Yeah.
Or I have to at least look busy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because perception and reality are, there's a very fine line between perception and reality.
Yeah.
And as I continue to work with more people, work with more brands, work more, period. Yeah. You can see that like there's a very fine line between perception and reality. And the people that look really, really busy.
So do you mean just like the people who post a lot, like I'm doing a lot of shit, kind of like give you that? I get that all the time. People are like, "Oh, dude, you're so fucked," and like
you're so busy. And
I feel like
you're fire and everything's going so well for you, but that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah,
but it's
not like things are bad. It's just like I know I have more capacity to do more things.
Yeah,
Well, that's all it is.
But the thing is, it's better than for me. If you're putting something out there, regardless of what it is, it's better than that's Jurassic Park.
Yeah. See, that's something we can show. 'Cause that's you.
That's so good.
Yeah.
But it's better than not putting anything out there at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
At least look busy.
Yeah.
But in terms of like actual, dollar figures and stuff like that, like you need to learn how to make money. So that's the reason why I've been able to transition.
Yeah.
Because sales has allowed me to understand how to take the first step, how to make one into two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I think it's really important to know who you want to work with too. Like if you're doing free stuff and that, say you're doing an event and that your ideal client type person, like there's gonna be 100 of them around, that's worth it, because you're showcasing you engaging. Like I think one of your biggest selling points, having watched you, is just like your personability. Like you go up there with your camera, you make everyone fucking smile. Like it's so easy to get a good candid camera or good candid shot when you're the guy behind the camera.
Yeah, and I think that
speaks louder than like the end, the end product. And I think that's one thing that's overlooked with photographers and videographers is like, how well can you direct?
I think that's one of my biggest bullet points.
Yeah.
As being a creative. Again, I think there's all kinds of better photographers out there than me.
Way better.
Such a jerk.
No, it's all good. We started this off with promo for you. So
that's
okay.
So funny.
No,
yeah, way better photographers.
No, that's,
but yeah,
no,
I think there's tons of people out there. But
you're really talented.
Do I believe, there's a lot of people out there that can be as personable, that can get an authentic laugh or an authentic smile.
Yeah.
Or do I believe that there's a lot of people out there that can build the relationships that I can build? Yeah, but there's fewer.
I don't know. I would say
there's fewer.
Of the people I've met, you're top 3 that I've met, like behind the camera, who have like, and I don't even know where I'd rank them, but I just like I've watched you live, and I know you're only taking like 15 shots of an event, right, but like 12 of them are fucking bangers, right? Like they're perfect,
Well, I mean, I think that's a combination. Like I say, it's a combination of
because I think
creating every day,
yeah,
and just having the type of personality that connects with other people.
Totally.
Makes people feel at ease.
Here's one of my small conundrums. Like I'm not a photographer by any chance, but I got a paid photography gig a while ago. It wasn't bad. But here's the one thing I find that's tough is that you're really good at is I don't want to seem like an intrusion. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's finding that balance between being an intrusion behind the camera and like, hey, this is all going to be fun for everyone involved,
Yeah.
And you're good at like. Do you have ever had like someone be like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here"?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But again, that's the one thing that I took from sales is perseverance.
Yeah. No. I mean,
right?
You can't take anything personally. Like
perseverance is number one. Mm-hmm. But you can't be too persistent or it's creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you have those? Do you get those people who like they're hitting you up on LinkedIn like way too much, and you never responded? And
I don't go on LinkedIn anymore.
Oh, dude, I'm a big LinkedIn guy.
I don't even go.
You gotta go on
anymore.
LinkedIn, man.
I probably should.
I mean,
but
I don't. Okay, fair enough.
I hardly use it. But there's a
Your
fine
LinkedIn,
line.
your LinkedIn is the streets. You're just walking around.
Yeah,
with a
well,
camera.
in real life,
Yeah,
IRL. But I think there's
I'm OL. Man.
there's a
online.
distinct difference between, like I say, persistence and being creepy. But I think that, again, I think the sales thing has just allowed me to, first impressions, and when you first see somebody for the first time, like how are they going to respond?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like what tactics can you use so that they'll respond positively?
Yeah.
And it's really very basic stuff. Like when it comes down to it, it's like if you walk up to someone with a smile, they're most likely going to smile back, right?
Yeah.
If they don't smile back, then you just keep it moving, right? Or if you can,
The delivery in that has to be good too. You can't be the guy walking around just
for sure,
haphazardly smiling. At
yeah,
everyone.
for sure. But that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, if you like, I'm analyzing you right now, man, you look really fit today. Good job.
Thanks, man.
You'd be like, what? Cool.
Appreciate that, dude.
Right?
Wow. Just
You know
made
what I
this
mean?
podcast way better.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so you go up and you analyze somebody just briefly. Just look at them. Look at what they're wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Look at, you know what I mean? You don't want to be offensive. Like, it's just little micro things that I think about in my brain that, how am I going to connect with this person right now?
Yeah.
Right? Or if it's like, they don't have a smile on their face and you could tell they're kind of cranky, or maybe they're thinking about something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about going up to them, just being like, what's up? What's going on?
Getting on their shoulder.
You know what I mean? Or just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'll even say, I literally use this and it works 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I'll just walk up to somebody, I'll be like, laugh. They'll be like, huh? I'll be like, laugh, I'm trying to take a picture of you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
You
you're
don't
the
wanna
only
look-
person who could pull that off.
Right? You don't want to look creepy in the picture.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they'll
yeah.
be like, oh my goodness, okay.
You're so right.
And then you get just a brief moment of like, whoa, inflection in tone in your voice and how you communicate with people. That all adds to it, right?
Yeah.
Like just little things. I don't know.
Did you, is that something like, did they teach you that when you were doing sales?
No, again, this is what I mean. So
Just like living life.
So they did. So what was taught to me, I should actually give some benefit to Good Life Fitness, because
They're good.
I thought Good Life had a really good sales training program. And as much as people sort of, say that they're persistent and they're this and they're that, like when David Patchell Adams came down, the founder of Good Life Fitness, came to Halifax, we did this whole seminar on how to connect with people. And it was, it was a lot of this, like analyzing them and what they look like and give them a compliment and shake them, double hand shake them, like double hand, like do a hand hug shake.
Have you done that in practice?
I do it all the time.
Wow.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
I've never done that.
So you shake them with two hands, look them in the eye, give them a compliment. Mm-hmm. It's something that like goes a long way, and people are like taken back by it because they're like, oh, why? Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they feel good about the.
I'm trying to remember like the first time, because like the first time we met, you made like it was you and your business partner, but like you made a very big impression. I was like, man, what a nice fucking dude. I like this guy.
Nice. Thank you.
I can't remember what it was though, but like we just went for coffee and you were just very enthusiastic and you were like, I remember we were just like, we met 2 minutes later, we're brainstorming all these ideas that we can do, and it was just fun. I was like, oh man, like he's just an easy to work with dude.
I think recognizing who you're meeting too.
Yeah.
If you're meeting another creative, don't go stiff.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, what's up, G? What's going on, baby?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, make them feel good. Like,
you gave me a nickname. Yeah, you called me. You called me up. You're like, I'm gonna start calling you G.
Yeah, probably right. Like, there you go.
That's what it was.
Right. So this is what I mean. So it's just about making people feel comfortable in your presence.
So yeah, I wanna go into a little bit because we were talking about age. You're still a young man, but you have a couple of kids now. How has that been? Like, what is May? How many months is that? We're like
6 months,
6-7 months. You've been going completely just believing in you. How has that been? Has that been tough?
It's good, but it's been tough.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, I'm 32 years old. When I met my wife, I was just getting into dental sales. We've been together for 7 years. So I was in dental for about 6.5.
Yeah.
And it's one of those situations where it's like, you start getting more handcuffs as you get older. Mm-hmm. And this is why when we were first talking before the podcast even started, I said, how old are you? You said 24. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, you need to go all in right now.
You know what's so funny? I think it's only this year that I've like started been open about my age. Like I always thought it was like a detriment. Like if I was in a meeting, I'm like, oh, I'm 22, I'm 21, I'm 23. Like I just was like, oh, they're immediately going to discount me as a person.
Right.
I was like, I'm walking in there, never ever letting that come up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I mean, I think now I'm like, oh, you know, I'm pulling up on 25. People can fucking relax about it.
To be honest with you, that's all in my mind.
That was all it was in my head. But.
It's in your head, but like you also got to realize like what people are starting to understand, like, and if they don't understand, if they're watching this, they need to understand that like a lot of the time, if you're working with a younger, especially like a creative, if you're working with a younger person, it doesn't mean they're more creative, and they're probably a little bit less experienced, but they have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
To get done what you need done. Like I have restraints on my time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably the biggest thing for you, right? Like,
that's the biggest challenge that I have in terms of being a full-time entrepreneur and creative is the restraints that I have on my time. I have to make time for my family. Yeah, I have to make time for my kids. I have to get up with them in the morning. I have to pick my daughter up from school. Like I have responsibilities that are time constraints to me that are outside of the business world that they're non-negotiables. You know what I'm saying?
Which is good. Like, so you set the boundaries.
For sure. You have to set the boundaries, but that's the biggest challenge. And it's really a big challenge. It's really, really tough because guess what? You need to be in this market. You need to be fast and you need to be efficient. And a lot of the time, unfortunately, sometimes it even comes to the detriment of quality. I'll give you an example. I had my business partner come over because he does side jobs and he does a bunch of things very handy. And he was painting my house. And he was doing a great job painting my house, but it was taking forever. And I was like, man, listen, I just want my house painted. I was like, I will sacrifice the quality of what he was like, well, I got to give you the quality. And I'm like, well, I don't need that much quality. Like I just need it done. Yeah. Right. Because time is money. Like I need it done. So for me,
was he charging per hour?
No, it wasn't even that. I'm just saying like I could be doing other things. Like my house was a wreck and different things like that. Right. But what I'm trying to say is that, to the detriment of sometimes even creative and this and that, sometimes people just want their stuff. And so there's a lot of people out there that will pay simply to have the product in their hands right away. You know what I mean? Like if I'm shooting an event, the event is irrelevant 72 hours later. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm shooting an event, for the most part, the events want their photos back right away. Yeah. Because they want to be able to post them on social media. Right, because everybody wants to see what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. Like that's
so what I'm saying is that like, cool that you want or real estate. I shoot a lot of real estate. In real estate, it's always a tight deadline. Yeah. It's always 24 to 48 hours. 48 hours is too long. Sometimes they want them same day, right? And so for me, if I'm done shooting, but then I'm not done shooting until 2:30, then I have to go pick up my kid, and then my children don't go to bed until 7:30. I'm basically out of commission between 2:30 and 7:30. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's tough. Yeah.
And so now it's like I have to refine that time. I have to figure out where I can make that time up. So it's either getting up early or
are you a night owl?
No. Okay. So I am a night owl. Yeah. But I prefer to get up early. I'd prefer to get up early because
you feel like you're beating the day. If you get up early,
you're beating the day. Yeah. You feel like you're better than other people. You know I mean? You're like, you just look around. You're like, oh, you suckers asleep.
Yeah, I've been sleeping.
Everybody's
I
still
beat
sleeping.
The sun.
Yeah. I even beat the sun up. You all right? So like so you just feel like your best version of yourself, in my opinion, when you get up early.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right?
I get caught in like the late night thing, and then that'll sometimes ruin my morning. Like this morning, I got up later than I wanted to. Like I wanted to be up at 7, didn't get up till 8.
You got no excuses, man. You need to get up.
Oh, I know.
You need to get up every day.
I know.
If you're not up by 5 o'clock every day,
who is this guy?
What are you doing?
Is this Gary Vee?
Yeah, what's the truth?
He's Will Smith and Gary Vee.
I'm serious, man. You need to get up because I'm telling you right now, the biggest mistake that I made probably in my life was sleeping. Right? you better wake up. No, but really, the biggest mistake is like, if I really, like, when I was in my 20s, man, I had no responsibilities other than baseball and school. Why was I not up at 4:30 every day?
Yeah.
Why am I staying up late?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
What am I doing? Like, at least 5 days a week, man. Wake yourself up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every day, and then you have nothing but time. Like, most meetings don't start until 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like, really, some meetings are at 8 o'clock.
I think the reason, though, is lately it's just like I've had, I fucking, I haven't been filling my days completely. Like, I'm done everything I wanted to get done that day, like, relatively early, and I'm not used to feeling like that. So then I'm just kind of like going in these weird circles of like my mind working like this. Like if I don't have a meeting that day, you know what I mean? If I don't have shit lined up or no shoots or whatever, it's like, what am I doing?
Learn.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I do
Educate.
that. I do that obsessively, but it's just like,
book your days more full.
Yeah.
Do shit for free.
No, you're right. No, I am. I'm doing 2 shoots this week for free.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's how I started my week off. I was like, fuck, man, I want to get some stuff. Going to events and stuff. That was the last time I saw you was at an event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, that was my thing. Like, am I a night owl? Yes.
Yeah.
I like to stay out late, but I prefer to get up early. And getting up early is going to give you a head start on life.
Do you have a routine?
Loose.
Yeah.
It's loose. It depends because, again, I don't necessarily have my own time. Mm-hmm. Like my routine is based on my family. My routine, the hard stops, again, for me are the responsibilities I've made to my family. One of the responsibilities I've made to my family is, driving my daughter to school every morning. Mm-hmm. Like, for the most part, I drive my daughter to school every single morning. If I don't drive my daughter to school, it's like a failure on me. You know what I mean? Like, it's something that I don't like. It's like, no, that's my job. That's my responsibility. Mm-hmm. So that's a part of my, like, sort of everyday routine. So I don't schedule anything in the 8 to 9 range because I'm like, that's school time.
Yeah.
In the afternoon, it's fine. That's when my wife picks up my daughter from school. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I mean, my routine is more so get up, get the kids ready to get out the door, get the kid to school, and then work all day. Try to cut it off at, 5 o'clock, but that's tough if I have an event that night, right? And then if I have an event that night, then I try to spend a couple extra hours during the afternoon, take a little bit of time off, spend a couple extra hours in the afternoon with the kids and the family, or help out or do errands or whatever I need to do, and then I go to the event that night. My schedule is a little bit sporadic. It's sort of all over the place, so the routine is tough. So it just sort of depends on what day it is, or like how, what I got going on that day.
Cool. Now, I'm glad I'm doing this podcast, man. You get me kind of jacked up. I like that. I know I've always admired the way you've approached business. You've done a very good job at it. Like, you seem to be always out there moving, but you also seem to be able to maintain a happy family. And then you're also posting pictures of people in love all the time. So it's just like, I feel like you're just kind of, you're just capturing good moments always.
Well, I
guess it's not fair to paint a life like that from the outside and be like, oh, everything's so good. Yeah. But it looks like you're doing a very good job from the outside.
Appreciate that, pal. I appreciate that. I mean, ultimately, I'm just trying to share what I have going on, and I still think I suck at it.
And then I think that's the creative, just like detrimental mind. But it's like everyone's plagued with it. And that's what drives us to get better.
I've been trying to do it more. I think
to beat yourself up more.
No, I've been trying to. I've been trying to share more than I actually have. Like, because the more people see you doing things, I honestly think it just attracts.
It does, yeah.
It's like, man, you're busy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you got something going on.
It is funny, yeah. Like, I've got quite a few gigs, like well-paying gigs, from just going out the day before and shooting for fun. It's like, oh, I saw that you did that. I like that kind of flavor of
So here's
video.
my thing that I want to say about shooting for free. Like you said, we'll bring it back to what you said earlier, is that you need to be barking up the right tree. Yeah. Though. Like, so for instance, I see a lot of people out there taking really beautiful portraits. Mm-hmm. But I still... If it's a creative outlet, I like to take portraits as a creative outlet. But I still, from my business mind and from sales training and everything like that, it's, you do something with a purpose. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To just take a picture of a person, unless it's a creative outlet, unless you're working on your lighting, you're working on your skills, you just want to have something fun. Fun portrait shoots I really enjoy doing, but I'm not going to fill out my week with them.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's paying me for them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Like
you need to bark up the right tree.
There has to be a brand that could, be interested in that style.
Not even a brand. Like, so for instance, personal branding.
Yeah.
Really sweet market right now. Right? Personal branding market's awesome because there's a bunch of creatives out there. There's a bunch of entrepreneurs out there. In our generation of human beings, we hate being told what to do. And if we're being told what to do, you better be paying me enough so that I can go do what I want to do after. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are starting their own businesses and different things like that. But like not everybody has all the capital to be able to pay a professional photographer to do the shoot. But they need it, but they don't necessarily have the capital. That's somebody that I might shoot for, for free. Yeah. Because it's something that people would normally pay me for.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
you know what I mean?
Yeah, the market's already there.
Yeah, there's a market there for it. But if I'm just doing a portrait shoot
of just
someone,
yeah,
right? Like it's not necessarily going to get me to where I want to be because I don't know what it's not necessarily going to attract other people that are going to pay for these things.
Have you ever run into, like, I'm assuming like you have a business mind, like you know how to price yourself and stuff. Have you run into people like, I'm sure you have, but they're just like, whoa, I'm not fucking paying that. Has that ever happened?
Oh yeah.
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 Like, how do you combat that? Like, I mean, like anytime I've run into that, I'm like, yeah, there are plenty of other people that will do it for cheaper, and you're welcome to go to them. But this is what I charge, and this is my quality of work that I've set.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm happy to do work for.
It's about having your pipeline full.
Yeah.
Again, chuck it back to sales.
Yeah.
It's about having your pipeline full. If somebody says no because your prices are too high and you've sold this service to somebody else, you need to listen to the market. The market will bear what the market can bear. But at the end of the day, if you sold your services to even one other person, then that means somebody's willing to pay that price.
Yeah.
So if you go and you pitch your services to somebody else and they say, oh, that's too much, then you say, okay.
That's not your market. Yeah.
That's it. Unless it's somebody that you really want to work with, they're valuable for you in some other way.
Yeah, no, it's finding that balance. Did we turn this up a lot? Mine's like way louder.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. It's good though.
I'm bringing you up a little bit, just like signal wise.
Okay, thanks.
Is it too much?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Where were we? We're at pricing and stuff like that.
Yeah, pricing.
Do you have like a dream gig? Is there anything you want to shoot and like?
That's a great question. Do I have a dream gig? I am a big pop culture and celebrity guy. I love it. I love pop culture. I love celebrities and reality TV and all of that stuff.
Yeah, you were telling me you listened to The Bachelor?
I watched The Bachelor.
Watched The Bachelor?
Yeah, we're part of what's called Bachelor Nation, baby.
That's so funny. I never got... There's so many trains I didn't like jump on, and that's one of them.
So, so I'm a big pop culture and celebrity guy. I think it would be really cool to shoot like
I feel like they just give you like the first season of The Bachelor when you get married. I feel like it just kind of goes hand in hand. Married guys start watching The Bachelor all of a sudden.
Man, I started watching this before I was married. I think I actually got my wife into it, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. But a lot of the time...
go ahead. Yeah.
A lot of the time what happens is like, I had girl roommates and stuff like that. So sometimes I'm not even going to blame it on that. I just like The Bachelor.
He likes it.
But I did have girl roommates. I say I had girl roommates because they were watching Grey's Anatomy, something that I would have never normally got into, and they got us into it. But anyway, yeah. So a dream shoot or a dream job would honestly be like, I think shooting some sort of celebrity event would be really cool. Like as in like, Will Smith is there, or like all the.
Is he your kind of like celebrity man crush?
He is, yeah.
Yeah,
he would be for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like that. All the the Kate Beckinsales of the world, or this or that. So I think it'd be really cool to shoot like the Vanity Fair after party.
Yeah.
Or like be a part of like something like that. That would be a dream job for event photography.
Yeah, you like the real like authentic, like this is a celebrity just being a person.
Yeah, more so like not necessarily like shooting like on the red carpet or like at an event where there's television and stuff like that, but more so like shooting like or television cameras and stuff like that, but more so just shooting like an after party,
Just being
or
there,
a celebrity
yeah.
after party or something like that, where everybody's just kind of being themselves and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that would be really cool.
So whenever
A celebrity
like
wedding would be really cool.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
there's some dream gigs that I think are out there.
well,
Yeah,
if this really
I think
pops
that's
off,
pretty
you know,
cool.
I'll let you shoot me at a.
Do you mind?
No,
Would that be all right?
You can come shoot at one of the after
Okay.
parties. Episode 100.
Yeah, but yeah, just doing something like that, or doing a lifestyle and branding shoot with like, you know, like a huge podcaster would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, not you'll be there one day, so
Yeah.
I know I'm already.
I thought that was like a jab.
No, but I'm actually dead serious. Like, you know, shooting with like a Lewis Howes or a Gary Vaynerchuk. Or
Yeah, Gary would be cool.
doing something like that.
I feel like he'd be just like too much though. He'd just be like, and he'd be off somewhere else.
Yeah, he'd probably be tough.
Yeah.
Probably tough.
Couldn't
A
get
lot
him-
of time, I've heard a lot of photographers that get time with celebrities and they only have very, very short periods of time. But those are like portrait shoots a lot of the time. I'd love to do like a full lifestyle session. I'd love to do, to be honest, I would love to do a Sports Illustrated
Oh, okay.
shoot, because you'd get to go to like these crazy places like Bali and
Yeah, like the swimwear ones.
yeah, absolutely. Sports Illustrated swimwear,
Yeah.
like with the swimwear models.
Oh yeah, because you go on vacation. You
go on vacation,
take a couple of pictures, and
you're
then
you're taking crazy photos.
Yeah.
Like that would be super cool.
yeah.
Yeah, working with different brands.
Let me get the behind the scenes video. If you ever get one of those gigs.
I think they actually do post behind the scenes videos.
Yeah. Let me recommend me. That'd be fun. We'll do something like that. So do you ever flock like in the city when there's like we had Obama here? Like, do you flock to that with your camera like the best you can?
So Atlantic Livestream was actually at Obama.
Oh,
We got hired to live stream the.
that's dope.
Yeah, we got hired to live stream the cultural expression, which was the very first part of Obama. But after that, we had to turn our cameras off because we weren't actually allowed to videotape or record Obama.
Could you take
The
stills?
section of Obama. I couldn't even take stills. No.
Really?
They had a few people that were hired to take stills. Excuse me, but I think it was like for the first 5 minutes. Like I think that's all it was.
Okay.
You could only take pictures for 5 minutes, and then you had to put your camera away.
Was it a good event?
Yeah, it was a good event. It was like Barack Obama was up there on my top list of people
Yeah.
that I wanted to see in real life. We got to sit in the press box, which
That's
is really
wicked, yeah.
cool.
He's definitely,
I wish I would have had a chance to meet him. But
He's definitely the most charismatic, but legit politician that I would want to meet. Anyone else, I have no real interest.
He just personifies to me what a role model in a position like that should be.
Yeah.
You know, I don't speak out on political things because I don't feel like I'm well informed enough to speak out on political things. Like you could easily just shut me down and be like, no, this and that.
No.
I don't think that you shouldn't speak out because you're not well informed. I think everybody should speak.
Just
their
know
mind
your
and their
place and know
opinion.
what you know.
Yeah, know what you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the title of the episode right
Know
there.
what you know. Yeah. That's funny. But you know what I mean? Like, if at the end of the day, you can make a point about something, and if somebody gives it back to you and it's a better point, then just accept that. Like,
Yeah.
there's no point in petty arguing.
I prefer to be. I don't prefer to be proved wrong, but I like it sometimes because you're like, I learned something.
Yeah, at the
You
end of
know?
the day, right? Like, again, if it's something is not 100% accurate in what
Like
you
now, I have
say-
to get up at 4:30 every morning now
I'm not
because I
saying
was
that you
wrong.
shouldn't.
I was living life wrong until now.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
I
But
know.
anyway, yeah, so if things aren't 100% accurate in what you say, then you should be able to take the criticism.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that he personifies just a role model in the way that he speaks, and the way that he speaks to his wife, and the way that you see their interactions together, and the way that he talks about his family, and all of those things. The people, somebody that's in that powerful of a position in the world, I think should be a role model to the world as well, regardless of their politics and regardless of how they feel, how you feel about the decisions they've made while they're in office.
Yeah. No, I fully agree.
Because vanity is real.
Yeah.
We're in the vanity industry. We're in
Yeah.
to taking pictures and videos and like capturing people, you know, and then obviously trying to bring the best out of people, bring their personalities out and everything like that. But you know, you don't always get that just from one single photo. You don't always get the type of person that they are just by looking at a photograph. That's
Yeah.
the goal,
Yeah.
but that doesn't always happen, right?
Absolutely.
So it's important. It's important to be a role model when you're in a position like that. That's what I think about him.
Wow. Well, I think I think as speaking with a person that I consider a role model in business, especially in this region, and someone I look up to, I think that's a good place to cap this podcast off. Appreciate you for coming and joining us here on The Driven Few. Our very first guest, Ryan Williams. You can follow him on Instagram at I am Ryan Williams.
IAM.
And his podcast is called What You Make It. Yeah, What You Make It podcast is the Instagram handle. And that's available where?
That is available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Perfect. YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right. Thanks, Gabe.
Cheers.
Cheers.